Mountain Vista won. If anybody wants to know, Mountain Vista volleyball
Congrats.
won last night. Thank
The
you.
football team's undefeated. So.
We're talking volleyball right now.
I know.
Good job, girl.
I'm waiting for the Denver Post to actually put the volleyball rankings in, not just the football. But shout out to Channel 9, my new favorite station.
I'll put in
I
a
didn't
word.
hear
Oh, no.
They're working on their volleyball coverage.
All right.
How excited do you get? I mean, it's old hat, but on the eve of the season in game one of the regular season.
No, always get excited. I mean, if you're not, then you shouldn't be doing this anymore. We were talking as a staff. It's been a really long preseason. You start towards the end of September, and you feel like if you break down the last month, it's almost been like 3 different training camps. Camp before you go to Abu Dhabi, camp when you get home from Abu Dhabi, and then obviously a little mini camp after our last game against Minnesota. So I think I speak for the entire group. Everybody's excited to finally get back out there and start the season off. And what greater challenge than you have the #1 seed from last year in OKC coming into our building. And we know our fans are going to show up like they always do, and hopefully our players are ready to go out there and do their jobs and try to get off to a great start.
We know the pieces are coming together. How excited are you to find out how good this team can be?
Oh, really excited. Obviously we've shown flashes of who we can be throughout the 5 preseason games. Now the challenge is always to put those smaller sequences closer to 48 minutes. You add a veteran like Russell Westbrook, another veteran, Dario Saric. Then you have young players like Christian, Julian, and Peyton who are just so excited to go out there and show how they're able to help this team win and win at a high level. So, I think everyone's excited to get going tomorrow.
Coach, on Russ specifically, when you bring in a guy like that, and I'm not trying to be critical of second unit, but a lot of times it's, with Nicole or some of the starters out, let's keep it close. When you have Russ running your second unit, why not extend the lead? Is it that kind of thinking?
Yeah, I mean, the thinking should never be from a losing mindset, like, hey, let's just hold water. Let's only get outscored by 2. No, you're hoping that your second unit, whoever that winds up being, can go out there and build whatever lead the starters had, or if we're down, they can go in there and get us back in the game. Like I want us to have a positive mindset, an aggressive mindset, as opposed to just trying to hold water. That's just that's not good enough. And obviously, the Russell Westbrook's never taken a backward step in his life, and I don't expect him to start doing that now.
What kind of lift will Peyton being available give the team the second unit?
Yeah, it's been great having him in practice. I think, this is not a knock on anybody on our roster, but Peyton is able to do things that a lot of guys on our roster can't, especially coming off the bench. You talk about his defensive versatility, you talk about that athleticism, and then even offensively, just the different things that he provides, from attacking the basket, finishing, making plays off the bounce. So it's going to be great to have Peyton out there and back playing, which is where we've missed him in those 5 preseason games.
Because he didn't play, is there, do you ramp him up? Is there like a lower minutes early on or something like that you approach?
No. I mean, he's a young kid, man. He's 22 years old. This is game 1. If he gets tired or whatever, we can always read that. But no, I love the fact that going into the season, there are no minute restrictions. Guys that are playing, go out there and play. And, as long as you're asked to play and do the best job that you can.
You mentioned earlier doing your job. What does doing your job look like against Oklahoma City?
Well, I think it requires great discipline. Obviously, I think one thing I challenge our players today, we played them in the preseason, division rival, #1 seed. And we have to have much better discipline in terms of who we're guarding, knowing their tendencies. Shea, for example, he leads the league every year in rejects and pick and rolls. Can't let him reject. He leads the league in steals per game. We have to be really careful with the ball around him, not try to dribble in a crowd. We have to trust the pass. So there's certain things that we can do, and not just with Shea, but all their players, that can help us have success from a personnel standpoint, from a discipline standpoint. What are we trying to do offensively and defensively? They're a great defensive team. They're physical. They try to push you out. And if we're lazy and we don't create leads and we're not physical ourselves, we're playing right into their hands. And the one challenge we have is if we can try to force the Thunder to be a half-court team, which means that we're taking care of it and not giving up 25-plus points in transition, we'll give ourselves a chance to win. In the preseason game, I know it's preseason, but when you have 24 turnovers for 30-plus points, now you're beating yourself, and it's going to be really hard to beat the #1 seed in the West while you're also beating yourself. So those are some of the things, Ryan, that I think we can really focus upon in hopes of getting a win tomorrow night.
A year ago, you guys were lifting the banner, getting your rings. Last night, watching a different team do it. Any emotions there? Hunger, more so when you see somebody else doing it?
Yeah, I was at Heritage High School watching Mountain Vista, so I did not see the ceremony. Would not have watched it anyways. I did get home, was able to watch most of the second game, the Minnesota Laker game. But yeah, new season, new challenge. And obviously now Boston's got 29 teams coming after them every night. And obviously, if you look at last night, it looks like they're ready for that challenge with how they played. But yeah, man, this is a new opportunity for us, new team, and hopefully we can attack it starting tomorrow night.
As somebody who followed their father into the same line of work, did you think it was cool seeing Bronny and LeBron on the court for a minute?
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, it's a special moment. Obviously, I think it's pretty cool that the Griffeys were there. I haven't done that in baseball, and now you had LeBron and Bronny out there, and you know, it's kind of special for me because I haven't been around LeBron for 5 years, and haven't gotten a chance to know him and coach him. You know, those are pretty cool moments where you have to kind of tip your cap to his career. And as I was watching that, my daughter sitting next to me, she goes, "Would you ever want to play with me?" And I said, "What, volleyball or basketball?" She goes, "I don't know, basketball." And I said, "Well, it would depend on what kind of player you were." You know what I mean? If you were tough and hard-nosed, I'd love to play with you. And she laughed. But yeah, I think pretty cool moment for them. And you know, hopefully, you know, people just let Bronny be Bronny, man. Like the amount of attention that poor kid gets. You know, let him be a rookie. It's so unfair. I just hope he's got a great family around him, but hope he can just handle all that, because it's just the immense media attention on that young kid is just, for a second-round pick, I've never seen that before. It's incredible.
One more. Continuity is increasingly rare on rosters in the league, whether by necessity with the CBA or maybe just teams not prioritizing it. When you have Jamal extended, Aaron extended this offseason, how much do you feel continuity on a daily basis with that group of 4 guys, and how do you get better over time with continuity?
Well, I think with continuity comes confidence. You know each other. You know, there's like an unspoken chemistry on the court. I know for Nikola and Jamal, who played 9 years together, they can look at each other and just kind of read each other and play off of each other. That doesn't happen when you're in a first year or a second year. It takes time. And for us to have a core 4 in Jamal, Michael, Aaron, and Nikola that's been together, that's won a championship, and been a part of probably the best period of Nuggets basketball. Those guys have a relationship on and off the court. They trust each other, they know each other, and they've been in big, big moments together that you can't, go into a practice court and try to replicate. Doing it in real situations, in front of a packed crowd, those guys have those experiences, and I think from those come a lot of confidence in one another.
Thank you, Coach.
Mike, you've done this for a while now, but how excited do you get on the eve of the season and having the season opener right now?
Very excited. The preseason felt like it took a while. And to get to the first game, it feels good.
You've talked about adding weight this off season, but I was just curious if you also worked on mechanical things like footwork and things like that.
Yeah, you always try to work on that and do some of that stuff, but at some point, it's just it's kind of like stacking on what you already have, Try to play a lot of live, play a lot of one-on-one and things like that in the offseason.
Can you describe the emotions that you feel like coming to the arena on opening night and going through your usual routine and getting to hear your name in the starting lineup and all those kind of game day things?
Yeah, I mean, preseason is a good kind of warm-up for that. You kind of get all those same feelings for the preseason games, but it's definitely a little bit more intense. First real game, it'll be probably sold out tomorrow, and definitely just getting back into the routine and things like that. I'm looking forward to it for sure.
We know there's some new faces, certainly a new addition to the starting lineup. How excited are you to see this finally come to fruition and see how good this team can be?
Yeah, I think there was maybe 1 or 2 games where we played in the preseason all together, but CB's ready. We're excited for what he brings to the starting lineup and kind of the intangibles he's able to do. He's gotten a lot better individually as a player as well, so we're looking forward to playing with him and really all the young guys that are going to be in the rotation this year. Julian, Peyton, we know they'll all bring something unique to the table.
Well, then what about having Russell Westbrook with that second unit, for a good chunk? What will he add?
Yeah, I think Russ, when you bring Russ to a team, I think it's important to let him be Russ. He's a unique talent, a special player. He can go out there for probably 20 minutes a game and get you 10, 12 assists, just at the pace he plays in. So I think Peyton and Julian and Dario and all those guys in that second unit are going to really benefit just from playing with him, running with him. And I think Coach Malone has kind of let Russ be Russ so far in preseason and in training camp, and I think Russ is really enjoying that, I think.
What kind of lift will having Peyton available for tomorrow's game bring?
Yeah, Peyton's he's a really good young player. I mean, offensively he's getting better and better, and defensively he does what he does. So I think he's gotten stronger. He's gotten a little older, and I think he's ready to have a really big year this year.
Mike, yesterday we saw AG get the long-term deal. How exciting is that for him to know he'll be in the fold for years to come?
Yeah, I mean, he deserves it, you know. I'm really happy for him. He deserves every dollar. I think, you know, Denver should be excited. The city and the organization just to have him here long-term, the complementary piece to Nikola, and just the how he fits into the culture. He really, you know, he defines kind of what Nuggets culture is about. So I think everyone's excited to have him.
How much improved do you think this team is this year?
You know, we lost some valuable guys over the last couple of years since that championship run, but I think overall, I think we improved. I think Russ is going to bring a whole new dynamic to that second unit. I think our starting unit, as long as we have certain guys out there, will always be fine as starters. Even bringing CB in, you know, he brings a little bit of a difference than KCP did, but I think Russ just being able to play point guard in the second unit, I think that'll really boost us. So I think we did improve overall.
What is Oklahoma City? What's the challenge with them?
I mean, they're young, they're fast, they're talented, and they're really well coached. Kind of as we saw in the preseason, whoever comes in the game plays the right way. You know, you got Shea, who's an MVP candidate. You know, Jalen and Chet and all those guys who are Caruso. So they play really good defense, and we just got to be careful with the ball and play the right way.
Heading into the season, have any of your individual goals shifted, changed? Is there something that you want to accomplish this year as opposed to last?
I mean, I think, you know, I've definitely bought into a certain role here to maximize the team's potential and, you know, to fit the team. But I think I can take a boost in that role and be even, you know, more of a star in my role. And I think I can increase production in different areas that I've kind of looked at and focused on in the offseason. So I don't know if there's individual accolades or goals, but I just definitely want to take a leap in the role that I'm in on this team for sure.
All right, thank you.
Year 17,
Brandon.
do you still get just as excited the day before the first game of the regular season as you
I'm
were?
excited every day. I'm always happy and excited to play. You know, take me personally, don't take anything for granted. So being able to go into year 17 and be able to play overnight is always a blessing, and I'm grateful for that.
I knew you was gonna say this.
How about facing OKC, just where you started your career and have had so many?
I've been facing a couple times now, so more than a couple, so no difference. I'm still friendly with staff and front office people there, so always a mutual level of respect and since day one.
But because you're there so long, you've obviously been a couple places since. Does the first home game in a new building and getting to see the fans in games that count, you get
Good practice, Brody.
Yes, sir, buddy. Appreciate
do
it.
you get a little bit of extra excitement there in the first regular season home game at your new place?
No, to be honest, I think for me, I'm always taking every game and cherishing the moments to be able to step on the floor. So the excitement is always there for me.
How excited collectively is this group, do you think, Russ, to hit the floor running?
I think, you know, training camp has been some time, and I think guys are ready to play and get to it. So I'm excited to see how we come out and how the season comes out.
Now that you've been here for a minute, what do you think makes this team special, sets them apart from other teams?
Exactly what I thought before I got here. Just being unselfish, making the right plays, understanding what we all do well, and utilizing that to our best advantage. And we've been able to see that, at least for me, in practice and in training camp.
We haven't gotten to see Peyton yet. Obviously a guy that you know pretty well. What are you most excited to see from him on the floor with you?
Just running, getting out of transition. My job is to help him and make the game easy for him as he continues to grow in this league, and I'll make sure I do that.
Have you had any moments of excitement in scrimmage this week playing alongside him that you maybe haven't had yet?
Yep, already. You'll see it tomorrow.
Okay. I do know it's early days, but what's the best part about being Nikola Jokic's teammate?
just selfishness. I think that's a trait that I think a lot of people may know, but being able to see it daily, it's great just for the best player in the world to be like that. Everybody else don't have no choice but to get in line. So.
Did you watch opening night and do you see the banners and the ring ceremony and think, okay, I got to get me one of these? I know you said at media day that you're not motivated, by only a championship, but in the back of your mind, you're like, this would be cool.
Man, to be honest, you want to know what really I was doing? I had a bunch of Amazon packages. My kids had their plates and their cups sent to the house, so I was unpacking that and putting them into my drawers and dressers. So honestly, I caught like some whiffs of it, and I was getting all my family stuff situated at the house, and that's really what I was doing. So to be honest, I wasn't too focused on what was happening.
In your experience, how long does that take? Like the family part of it, getting everybody settled in?
You know what? This is the first time I had to do this, and man, it's been a while. I haven't lived and been by myself in a long time, and like, taking stuff out, moving all the stuff in the cabinets and doing all this stuff. So I'm like half doing it because my wife is on FaceTime telling me exactly what to do. So I'm like half doing it, and then when she gets tired of me, she hangs up, and then I kind of figure out the rest. So it's been great. I actually really been enjoying like just the whole, cleaning up and doing the whole thing. So I enjoy that process. I'm excited now to get home to unpack and do a bunch of other shit. So.
You've always kind of carried the weight of the world, the responsibility just of where you've been and what you've accomplished in this league. Has that evolved anyway over the course of your career, and what do you expect to kind of take on with you this year?
What you mean? I wouldn't understand before I answer that.
Just in terms of, you've always carried a lot of responsibility offensively, a lot of responsibility defensively.
Mm-hmm.
Just is that changing? Is that evolving in any way, shape, or form?
I don't know. To be honest, I think that a lot of those things that you're mentioning and expectations were put on me from other people. So I don't even, for me, I've always, set my own expectations and where I want to be in my career, in my life. So I never feel like I'm carrying a lot. I feel like God has put me in this position to be able to do other things. Basketball is great, and this platform is amazing to have, but I feel like I'm here for a reason to be able to help and serve, other people. And that's the only weight that I feel. The weight of basketball is easy. I'm grateful to play it. I love it, have fun, and that's the easy part. The other part is being able to use what you have to be able to impact and inspire other people. And that's the only way that I feel.
Russ, you fed Julian a lot in the preseason. Obviously, the way he shot the ball and everything, and sort of the emphasis for you on helping the young guys succeed here. How much of a jolt did it kind of give you to see him excel the way he did?
It was great, man. I was excited before I came here just to be helpful for him, and I'm excited to see him try the same way he ended preseason and being aggressive, shooting the basketball, playing at a high level, and like I've always said, it's my job to make the game easy for him and get him easy looks.
What's your role going to be on this team?
Just compete. I don't have a particular role. It's not my job to be able to make the role for the team, but my job is to go out there and play hard and compete the best way I know how to, and I'll do that every night.
One more. What's it been like playing with Dario, especially compared to some of the other bigs that you played with in your past?
It's different. Being able to adjust to his game, understand exactly where he likes the ball as well, making the job easy for him. As a point guard, part of my job is to be able to learn and understand just not Dario on the basketball court, but Dario off the floor as well, to help make him ease and comfortable on the floor. And it's been great, being his teammate so far. So.
Thank you, Russ.
Thanks, Russ. Thank you, Russ.